Hey guys, Scare9 here, welcome back to my channel today, and in this video we are going to be ranking yet another class's raid armor sets across all 10 of the current raids in Destiny, in the Destiny universe rather, up to Crown of Sorrow, all the way from Vault of Glass. Just like last week where we did the Hunter set, you can find the link to that down in the comments and in the description by the way. There's going to be a couple of base rules that we need to set. So first off, these are always, as you know, across all of these videos, they are obviously my opinions. That's how tier lists work. If you disagree, let me know why. If you agree, let's start a conversation, that sort of thing. The whole purpose of these videos is to give Bungie very targeted feedback and to kind of collect the community's collective opinions on certain aspects of the game that I deem to be very important, and raid armor is one of those things. So let me know your thoughts. Even, you know, if you have the time, give me your list down in the comment section below, and I'll try to reply to as many of you as possible. As last week, there's going to be kind of a weird stipulation. There are going to be 11 armor sets. Some of the armor sets from Destiny 1 have ornaments. Actually, they all do. And this actually came with the Age of Triumph event. But a lot of the ornaments didn't actually change the set. So something like Wrath of the Machine, it just adds particle effects. There's no physical change to the design of the set. So I'm not going to be including anything but the ornamented versions of the sets in this video. However, the Vault of Glass one does have two separate ornaments, so I'm going to be counting those as two separate pieces of armor, or two different armor sets rather. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So I think the bottom two at this point are going to be really easy for everyone to guess. Eater of Worlds is going to be the worst, the number 11th slot. I don't understand, man. You look like a hippopotamus in space, and it's awful. And I don't know. The Hunter one had some redeeming qualities. I don't like this armor set at all. I really don't understand what they were going for. I don't like it in the slightest. And it takes shaders pretty incredibly poorly. The ornaments from the Prestige version do kind of help redeem it a little bit in terms of how it accepts shaders and what it looks like, but just like the design is awful. So 11th place, and once again, Spire of Stars, it's a knockoff Eater of Worlds on the Titan. The shader patterns are really weird, so like half your face will be one color, the other half will be another. It's horrendous. If you ever want to like have some fun in Crucible, put on this set, put a different bright shader on every piece of armor. So put like the blue and purple one, I forget what it's called, something Matrix, I think. Put it on your head, and then like Bumblebee on your arms, and just like deck out in the brightest, most contrasting colors you can. It's pretty funny. But this armor set is terrible, so Spire of Stars is going in at the number 10 position. Now we start to get to where it gets really good, and Titans have a lot of very, very, very good armor. Like, with Hunters, it was a difficult list because there were some towards the top that I didn't really know where to put. Starting, like, right here on Titans, it gets very difficult. So, you know, my opinions on this might shift day to day, just on how close some of these armor sets are. So, in the number 9 slot, we have the bottom tree set of ornaments for the Vault of Glass set. This really doesn't change it that much from the default Vault of Glass set, so I'm kind of including that as one little armor set, sort of. There's a couple changes. For instance, the mark becomes more like the Shattered Vault cloak, which is very, very cool. But other than that, it just seems like a very generic armor set. You know, this was, of course, one of the very first armor sets in Destiny, dating all the way back to vanilla Destiny. And it's just, I don't think Bungie had really started to experiment with how crazy they could get with the armor yet. So it's fairly generic. It looks like something a Guardian would wear, but there are a couple of nice touches, so it is going to go in on the number 9 slot. Now in the number 8 slot, we have the Scourge of the Past Titan set. Now, whereas I praised the Hunter one for looking so nice, the Titan one really doesn't do it for me. I love the overall theme still. It does definitely look very kind of like future techy, and it looks like you raided the Black Armory and you took some of their technology and implemented it in your armor. It looks pretty cool, but I have two main problems. The shoulders are so incredibly huge on this set, and you know, usually they balance it out by giving your Titan like a really big chest or a chest piece that kind of matches it. Your shoulders just like dwarf your chest piece. It looks kind of ridiculous, and I have no idea what they were going for in the helmet. Kind of looks like a frog. I just don't know. So I love the theme. I feel like a couple of the sizes of different pieces could have been smoothed out a little bit to make it flow a little bit better, and that helmet needs to be completely replaced. But it's still a decent armor set. It takes shaders really well. It's not all bad, and I'm gonna put it in the number 8 slot. Now in the number 7 slot, we have the King's Fall armor. Yeah, this one has fallen a lot since the Hunter ranking list. One important note, I do not personally have this entire set. I am missing a couple of pieces. I didn't do King's Fall a lot on my Titan or my Warlock, which we'll talk about next week in that video. So I'm having to use footage from Bungie's live stream when they revealed it. I'll have the original link and all the sources for that down in the credits, or in the description down below, rather. But this is obviously not my footage. I've always loved most of this set. It looks pretty cool, don't get me wrong. Like I said, all of these Titan sets from this point on are pretty freaking insane. It really just looks like when you're killing Hive, you were putting parts of them on you, you get these really jagged shoulders, and everything looks pretty cool. My main problem with it is going to be the helmet. I really don't know what is happening. It's actually kind of like the same design as the Scourge of the Past helmet, just with more rocks on it. I know it's supposed to be the War Priest's head that, you earned through combat when you killed them. You got the helmet, and now it looks like you're wearing the War Priest's head, but it doesn't really flow with the rest of the set. I think the rest of the set is amazing. You have a part of Oryx's wing on your hip as your mark, which looks fantastic. The energy flowing beneath your armor, of course, looks amazing. It looks very, very good, but the helmet it looks so out of place. I don't really know what they could have done, but I don't think it looks that great. But the rest of the armor set looks fantastic. It takes shaders really well. It really fits the theme of the raid. It makes you feel like a badass. And yeah, that's why I'm ranking it here on the list. Now in the number 6 slot, we have the Prestige Leviathan armor from Vanilla Destiny 2. So this is definitely one of the best looking, if not the best looking Leviathan Prestige armor across all 3 of your characters. Actually, it probably is my favorite. The only weird thing is you're kind of wearing a corset, which is odd because you're a Titan, and I wouldn't really put those two things together ever. But it doesn't look bad, though. It's very royal. And whereas the Hunter looked like a royal assassin, now you as a Titan look like part of Calus's royal guard, almost kind of his elite fighting squad. It looks very good. The horns that you get as part of the Prestige ornament set, the purple glow that comes out from your head, is fantastic. This was one of the first tastes of that we got in Destiny 2. Coming off of the back of Age of Triumph, we had a lot of these very expressive holographic armor sets, and so this was a nice way to tie that world into Destiny 2, get some of those really cool holographic glows and different ornament designs and that sort of thing, and I think this armor set does it very well. The helmet looks really badass, the arms look fantastic, the chest piece, like I said, it's kind of weird because it's a corset, but it still works. And the rest of the armor set looks fantastic as well, and that is why it is going in the number 6 slot. Now in the number 5 slot, we have the Wrath of the Machine set for the Titans. Once again, the ornaments don't really do anything. You have one ornament that gives you kind of this Siva overdrive effect, and you get another one that gives you kind of Siva floating effects, but they really don't do much to the armor itself, so I'm going to include that all as one set, even though there are 2 separate ornaments. Like I said, just particle effects, same set of armor, so here's where it goes on the list. The arms and the legs are absolutely incredible. If you guys remember back to the Hunter one from last week, I made a comment that it was very generic. This armor set really does a great job of combating that. There is no armor set like this for the Titans in the entirety of Destiny 1. It looks incredible. The boots are awesome. I love the little spikes you have coming off of them. The chest piece looks amazing. The mark is one of my favorite things about this set. It's just very clean. It flows very well. And altogether, this set is pretty incredible, honestly. It's a huge step up from the Hunter one, in my opinion. It flows really well on the Titan. Your body size looks really good. It's all proportional. Takes shaders incredibly well. And the ornaments just work to make it look that much better, which I really appreciate, of course. So that is why the Wrath of Machine armor for the Titan is going to come in the number 5 slot. Now in the number 4 slot, we have the Last Wish armor set for the Titan, of course coming from the Last Wish raid. This thing is so cool. You still look like a space knight that slays dragon and goes around just killing giant beasts and creatures and stuff, but it just looks so much cooler. There's this area on the Hunter set where there's kind of nothing going on with the stomach. The Titan set takes care of this perfectly. Not only do you have these massive jagged bone plates kind of sticking out of your shoulders and your knees and your boots and all that sort of stuff, it also just flows together really well in the chest. It definitely looks kind of like a knight's chest piece. Your helmet, of course, is the traditional knight helmet. It looks very cool. This thing looks awesome if you put a silver shader on it. It really just looks like you're rolling around in a suit of armor that you would wear during medieval night times and that sort of thing, but kind of amplified to fit that space magic theme. It just looks so incredible. They did a fantastic job with this set. The mark, once again, it looks really cool. I love how there's multiple parts. It's pretty unique in terms of different marks that we've had within Destiny 2. And yeah, the Last Wish set is going to come in the number 4 slot. Now in the number 3 slot, we have the Vault of Glass set, but with the top ornaments this time, the one that makes you look like a freaking just like a monster, right? This set is so cool. You ripped off of Vex's head, you put it on your face, and now you got some type of like weird hobgoblin head going on. Looks awesome. You ripped off a Hydra's head, you made it a freaking belt. Perfection. And then finally, you took some Vex technology, you gave yourself a little white banner of energy behind your head. I don't really understand what the purpose of that is, but it looks cool, and it's like, that's enough for me, right? That's all I need. It's an amazing armor set. It's a huge upgrade up from the base Vault of Glass armor set. In my opinion, it looks a lot better. Really plays into the theme of, you know, you're going through the Vault of Glass, you're implementing this technology from enemies you are killing into your armor set. It looks fantastic, very badass, and yeah, it's pretty much the perfect armor set for Vault of Glass, I would say. And that's why I put it in the number 3 slot. Now in the runner-up slot for this video, we have the newest armor set for Titans. That is going to be the armor set from the Crown of Sorrow. This thing is very cool. Once again, as it was with the Hunter and as it is with the Warlock, which we'll talk about next week, this is essentially just the perfected and upgraded version of the Prestige Leviathan armor. They took that idea, they made it even better, because not only is the Titan kind of like part of Calus's elite guard at this point, which I guess like in terms of lore, that didn't really make sense at the time, but that's what you were supposed to look like. This really just takes that to a whole nother level. You are Calus's shadow, and you are part of his elite fighting guard now. That is kind of canon at this point. You look incredible. The entire armor set has been redone, but fits the same theme. So you have got these really just magnificent shoulders and knees, and everything looks great. You have the jewels all over the armor, which looks fantastic. The helmet is really cool. You kind of look like a scarab. It just fits the theme of being like really royal and really rich and opulent, of course. Very well, and it looks absolutely amazing. It takes shaders so incredibly well, and honestly, I think these gauntlets are some of my favorite across all of the Destiny armor sets. It's just so unique. It's so cool. The spacing between everything isn't weird. They're not a weird size. It flows very well with the armor set, and it looks very, very nice. So that is why it is coming in the number 2 slot. And now we have finally reached the final slot for this video, the number 1 armor set for Titans in raids, in my opinion. I'm going to say it's the Crota's End one with the ornaments. I don't know how anyone could disagree with this. It definitely looks like Bungie took the most time out of pretty much any raid set ever with this. It's pretty perfect. It looks like you just... It looks like perfection. That's what it looks like. Honestly, if you were going through the raid and you were killing Hive and you're adding it to your armor, which is a theme that I really like, of course, I talk about it all the time. I freaking love that idea. And then you took their technology and you just made it look cool as well, where you have these holographic spikes that once again, when you get damaged, they go away, but as you're healing, they rebuild. Very cool effect. Very, very cool effect. The horns that you have are insane. This set just looks like nothing else. Even compared to the Warlock and the Hunter sets from this raid, this thing is just miles and miles and miles above it. It is perfect. There are just so many cool little details on it. It's just so cool. It is like the perfect embodiment of Crota's End, that entire storyline and everything that you could do. It just looks so perfect and freaking amazing and badass and cool, and as many adjectives as I can fit in there that are positive, because it's honestly like the perfect armor set. I love it, and I think pretty much everyone does. I hope. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Whatever. But in my opinion, this is the best raid armor we have ever gotten for Titans, at least, and I think across the board as well. But that's a different video sometime. Who knows? And yeah. So it's coming in the number 1 slot. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating and to share it with your friends. If you are interested in watching either of the 2 videos on screen, including my Hunter ranking video from last week, you can click their respective annotations on screen to be taken to that video. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to hit the giant version of my logo on screen to be subscribed to my awesome Destiny 2 videos and live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next video.